Hi, my name is Sky, and so I want to use this video to try to get across an idea and a concept about uh, community leadership. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine earlier and saying how if you want somebody to be a good city council member, even a county supervisor, uh, that person ideally should have community organizer experience behind them. Why? What is a community organizer? What do they gain, or what's the benefit? Um, when you are in the community, you and you recognize that hey, here's a problem. I want this problem fixed or solved. What are the typical roadblocks? Uh, those roadblocks tend to be systemic, the system, the government, the way things are fashioned or organized, legislated. This is how things are. This is the way things. This is how you as a citizen can interact with this organization, this edifice, this building or whatever. And what um, when you want something different, when you want something changed, what is a way to do that? What is a way to get something changed? Like one way is voting. Vote for leadership. Vote for the legislative, um, deliberating body. Vote for whoever's going to represent you. Um, the the community organizer, because a community, like the depiction of that is easy to convey through television, mass media, is small town. You have the crossroads, you have the city hall, the store, um, whatever business people go to, and there's a focus and uh, core to what is the community. And what you don't normally see is that the community is made up of different communities, smaller communities, constituent parts, groups of people who are organized and organize themselves based on different criteria. The most notable is religion, church. How do most people meet each other? Through church. What happens when you are a wealthy person in your church? You've gone up through you've been outstanding member of the church for decades. Have a prodigious family. You're well aligned marriages with other financial interests, um, and you have an entrepreneurial spirit. Uh, you go from like, well, we know each other through church. We just hang out and talk about money and business at the church cookout, to let's have a nonprofit organization, a society hall that aligns with our religious beliefs, and is aligned with our interest in um, the future of our community and how we are part of that future. We are investing in this organization, which is investing in the community. Um, so, how does a community organizer fit in? Because the United States is these different constituent parts put together. There's a lot of deliberation, a lot of everybody has their interests at heart and their interests being represented. So it can be difficult to say, okay, how do we get change? How do we realize we want things to be better for this, to achieve this goal, achieve this aim? Community organizer talks to the constituent parts, the church leaders, the business leaders, the labor leaders, um, whatever supply, middle management, like any sort of people who, I deal with people which is a certain small number, which is easy to handle. But I see and recognize these issues and problems, and I, on behalf of the people I'm representing, the small group, I want my interests to be heard, to be represented. Like I want some compensation. I want something to benefit me in some way. Um, Community organizer talks to everybody, learns and understands what everybody wants, and brings that message to the community leadership, the city council, the county supervisor, the state legislature, and says, okay, here's the issue, here's my evidence to back it up, here is the words that I've heard coming through, being spoken through me, to help convey the message that is important, to help emphasize how and why this is things need to change, things need to be different. So as a result, if you have that experience as a community organizer, you've pounded the pavement, you've talked to so many different people who are at all the different corners of the society, the community, which includes people who have leadership and authority in whatever capacity. What is the nature and desire of man? To have power. So any means to have power, even if it's like, hey, here's a society hall, or here's whatever little group, based on whatever, I'm in charge, or I have power in that. I'm recognized by my peers in that little group. And people have to pay me respect. It's like, it's everybody desires it. It happens. So the community organizer is going to make sure people get that respect. That people, hey, they contributed, they worked, they participated, they gave, they sacrificed, and they are going to be recognized for that. They did a good thing. Good things are going to happen to them as a result, and everybody's going to benefit. Everybody's going to be happy. So all that stuff, all that work, all that deliberation and talk. Now the community organizer is like, okay, time to run for political office. And ideally, it's a simple transition, because you've gone from, I'm talking to everybody, everybody's interacting with me, we know what's going on, to now I'm holding a office that has power and financial ability to get things done. So now it's like, okay, we have issues with people. Here's the money to get it fixed, or here's the here's how I can empower certain individuals to get things fixed. Here's so what's the long-term thing we need to get going to help deal with this problem? Like, who do I assign to oversee the task force that will make sure things are done efficiently and correctly? Like, to assign the oversight. Because then, so that's the other thing is, once you are in that position of leadership and authority, being an elected official, because you've been a community organizer and you've interacted and met so many people, people who are small leaders who've displayed ability and talent in their small capacity, they can be recognized and elevated. They can be given different positions, and because for whatever shortcomings, they got social anxiety or what have you, they are smart, they're capable, they can, you give them a job, they can do it. And if it's a complicated job involving something political, like dealing with people, and these guys can do it, they can do it. Just process of elimination. Ideally, hopefully there's no cronyism, but at the same time, you recognize talent. And you have to recognize talent. You have to promote talent, and you have to have, part of that is also, loyalty to, we're working together. We understand each other. We understand, that everything works if we're in, if everybody succeeds. government is not about eliminating and removing people and suppressing people, because then that's just tyranny. Government, U.S. government, is about how do we satisfy needs and desires and wants and complaints. How do we take care of criticisms? How do we get things better and improve things? A politician who doesn't have the experience of talking to a lot of different people only knows so much. Can only convey so much. Can express so much. If you have if your point of getting into politics is, well, I am just going to satisfy these key interests, you can talk a lot about those key interests, and then everything else is like, well, who's going to give me money to say something in support of them? Which is where it opens up. Whereas a politician who says, look, well, I recognize a need, or people considered me a leader, and I stepped up. I took the mantle. I took the reins, or I followed the path. So yeah, interesting things like that. Some just some ideas to think about for being a community organizer and getting into politics and how that benefits you. That makes you a better city council member, county supervisor, what have you. It's because you know these people and you have pre-established relationships in some cases, which can be a good thing. Because you knew me when I didn't have power, now you know me when I have power. How does the relationship change? It can be good or bad. But as a community organizer, ideally it would be good. Because I know you, I know what you want. I know what you want to have accomplished. I'm now in the position where we can make it happen. We can create progress together. So, just some ideas. Let me know what you guys think.